Conference, I'm an immigrant and I'm here to propose Amendment 3. I'm very lucky to be here at all. I immigrated to the UK in 2006. My husband is disabled, but when we got married, he was earning just enough for me to get a visa. His health has since declined. In only a quarter or a third of the dozen years we've been married, would we have been able to meet the requirements for me to live in his country. By chance, we got married in one of those charmed years. It's the only reason I'm a Lib Dem, standing with you today. You see, while this motion claims that it would remove the spousal income limit, that's not the case in practice. Under the rules it restores, a British spouse had to prove that they were earning enough to support their immigrant spouse without public funds. When we got married, my husband was told that unless he was earning $15,000 a year, my visa would probably be turned down, because otherwise I would need public funds. Any income limit, even a soft one like this, denies love and family to disabled people. It discriminates against people who would never be able to earn enough money to support their spouse. The writers of this policy assure me that their ban on recourse to public funds would only apply to the immigrant spouse, and not both, as has so far been the case. Firstly, Conference, that's simply not how benefits work. They're addressed on the household's income, not on individuals. And secondly, that means that if the British spouse loses their job and the immigrant spouse isn't earning, the two people would be expected to survive on one person's benefits, which are tailored to be barely enough for a single person to survive on. Of course, the situation is even more dire if such couples have children. Anyone who's had to deal with the DWP or the Home Office, as I have, knows that the people in most need are often the ones least able to fight their corner, the ones with the fewest tools to navigate bureaucracy. I'm worried about means tests because I know people will fall through those cracks. The DWP are the only people to ever tell me that I have no difficulty seeing. This will happen to others as well. Conference Amendment 3 does not propose to give immigrants special benefits, but only to prevent splitting up families. As Liberal Democrats, we're committed to a world where no one is enslaved by poverty, and poverty should never separate spouses from each other or parents from their children. Amendment 3 does not propose a new or radical idea. 20 years ago, when Michael Howard was Home Secretary of a Tory government, there were no restrictions on the public funds an immigrant spouse could access. Conference, I trust that the Liberal Democrats can be at least as liberal as Michael Howard. The policy paper that this motion endorses acknowledges that the system it's proposing to reintroduce, the one introduced by Home Secretaries the likes of Jack Straw and David Blunkett, as Richard has said, was already damaging to family life for some people. That's a quote from the paper. Conference, I'm concerned that without this amendment, we will endorse a system that we know is damaging to family life. Amendment 3 does not propose anything controversial. Every British friend, family, or acquaintance I've spoken to about this has been surprised or dismayed to find that I didn't immediately get the same rights to public funds as my British spouse. Conference, our policy should be at least as liberal as the one people already believe to be in place. If I met my husband today, our marriage would be a hollow gesture because being disabled means we wouldn't be able to live together. I was on the exec of LGBT plus Lib Dems when we campaigned for and won same-sex marriage, a victory we Lib Dems are rightly proud of. But marriage is still unequal, especially for disabled people and Brits who fall in love with non-British people. Please vote for more equal marriage. Vote for Amendment 3.
Thank you very much indeed.